Christ 17 TV, back upside your head with another one. Today we going to Las Vegas, where they say Jaylen Brown's father stabbed a man over 25 times because when he opened the door, his door hit his car door. And this is a man who is 7 foot tall. I mean, did you really have to stab somebody when you're 7 foot tall, 300 pounds, and an ex-boxer? Let me play the audio for you because I can't show you the video, but listen to this.
In Las Vegas tonight, the father of Boston Celtics star Jaylen Brown is facing attempted murder charges. Police say Quentin Brown, who stands about 7 feet tall, stabbed a man multiple times during a parking lot dispute, leaving the victim in critical condition. The former professional boxer, who goes by the middle name Marseilles, made his first court appearance this afternoon. Let's bring in CBS News reporter Andres Gutierrez. He was there for that court appearance, Andres, and appears live from the park where the stabbing took place. Andres, how did this all escalate to what they're calling attempted murder?
Elizabeth, I'm having some technical issues in hearing you, but I do want to preface all of this by saying that you're about to hear some graphic details. All of this happening almost 24 hours ago when the father of Jaylen Brown, Quentin Marseilles, ended up pulling up to this parking lot out here and ended up dinging his vehicle next to him. That vehicle was occupied at the time by Cross Tupola, a 28-year-old youth football player who stepped out to check the damage. Heated words were exchanged between the two men. The victim ended up asking Brown, who, as you mentioned, stands at 7 feet, weighs 300 pounds, and is a former boxer, if he wanted to fight. Brown ended up agreeing. As the victim walked away, Brown allegedly pulled out a knife. Witnesses say Brown stabbed the youth coach as many as 25 times, first in the back, then multiple times in the abdomen. In that police report, just doctors ended up describing his injuries as catastrophic. He ended up having a defensive cut in his hands as well as a broken rib. Surgeons had to remove a part of his stomach because his bowels were eviscerated, meaning that they ended up spilling out. The victim is in critical condition. I talked to his girlfriend earlier today. She didn't want to go on camera, but I did talk to, because I wanted to talk to her attorney, but told me that the coach underwent another round of surgeries this morning. And because I can't hear you, having technical issues, I do want to cover some other aspects of the story. There were a ton of witnesses out here who ended up seeing the gory scene and ended up getting a good look at the suspect's Lincoln Navigator. And the cops ended up pulling him over at a nearby interstate. A few minutes later, officers say that he had some cuts, scrapes, and a broken toe. Without being questioned, he admitted that this was all over a door ding, and he ended up refusing a formal interview, but does have a prior arrest from 2016 for battery, which ended up resulting in substantial injury. Witnesses, again, several of them out here, ended up picking him from photo lineups, and police say that evidence showed that he was the aggressor. Brown now is being charged with attempted murder. He made his first court appearance this afternoon at 1:30 local time. Prosecutors ended up arguing there that he is a danger to the community, noting that the brutal nature of this attack. And they also pointed out that he may have a possible outstanding warrant in Georgia. They ended up setting bond at $300,000, and if he is released, he'll have to do electronic monitoring as well as avoid contacting the victim, who again remains in critical condition at this hour. Brown's next court date is happening in 5 days on August 26th. Back to you, Elizabeth.
Andres Gutierrez live for us.
And the one thing they did not mention in this is Brown's lawyer is trying to say self-defense. When you follow somebody and stab somebody in the back, you can throw that self-defense bullshit out the window. You stab somebody in the back and then turn around and stab them in the chest and the stomach, you are trying to murder somebody. That is the right charge, attempt murder. You're 7 foot tall, 300 pounds, an ex-boxer. You could have just did anything else but stab him, and you would have got in trouble, but to this nature, it sounds like this guy is a violent dude, a big dude who is violent. Now, if a 7 foot, 300 pound ex-boxer is stabbing you with a knife, You lucky to be alive. It said his intestines was damn near falling. Jesus Christ. Well, I tell you. And for the record, Jaylen Brown said he was raised by his mother and his dad was never around. Imagine that. Imagine you not being in your son's life and your son is worth $500 million in basketball money. Boy, oh boy, what a story, huh? What a fucking story. You're a deadbeat dad, and your child you didn't want to raise ends up to be not just a millionaire, a superstar in the NBA, NBA champion, and is working on his second $200 and something million contract. Boy, I tell you, you talking about dropping the ball, not being a father, not being a real man, because only men who aren't men don't take care of their kids. I've been down that road. I didn't meet my dad till I was 21. I told the story on my channel. You can look, it's way back there somewhere, but you can find it on one of my playlists. But the fact is, this is something that could have been avoided. You open your door, you're parked too close to a car, your door hits the guy's door while you're getting out. That is a mistake. That is, I apologize, I'm sorry. If they had words, they had words. But when the youth coach turned around and walked off, and this guy stabs him in the back, there is no self-defense. You turned a situation where the guy turned around and walked away, and the problem could have been done like that. You kept on it. You stabbed him multiple times in the back, stabbed him in the torso. He's going through major surgeries in critical condition. Anybody stabbed 25 times and is alive is a miracle. You know how many holes that is? You're bleeding fucking out. I knew a guy when I was a kid in the Tenderloin. One of my Asian friends, Jimmy, his dad got stabbed, I think it was 56 times. I mean, and the cold part is they said he was stabbed by a guy named Ice Pick. This is in the 80s. Both these guys are dead by now. But I remember my friend's dad was hella cool. He used to be giving us change for the game, playing Miss Pac-Man and Space Invaders or some shit. And then one day, I see her mom crying to my mom. I seen my friend's mom crying to my mom, and my mom said, Jimmy got stabbed 56 times and was alive. And next time you seen him, he had an ill-ass walk, like it was because he's got stabbed so many times. The nerves in his back and his arms and his legs. I mean, you talking about trying to kill somebody 56 times and you survive, you're definitely going to not be the same. He couldn't even walk right. It was sad, but this is the kind of shit that happens over shit that should have never been a problem. If somebody parks too close and you get out the car and your door accidentally taps somebody else's door, hey, I'm sorry about that, but to get out and start stabbing somebody is crazy. That's what I'm saying. People like that shouldn't even be outside. Shouldn't even be outside. They should be inside for the rest of their life, and he gonna be gone for a minute. And 30,000, 300,000 bail is only 30 G's, okay? I think you stab somebody over 25 times, your bail should be way more than that. I'm sorry to say it. And this is a youth coach. He coaches kids. Imagine what it's doing to the kids he coaches. Knowing that coach is fighting for his life because some 7-foot monster, ex-boxer, decides he's going to pull out a knife and try to kill coach. That's absolutely crazy, man. I'm telling you, it's absolutely bonkers. And you can't make this shit up. And Jaylen Brown, this is his dad, but he doesn't fuck with him. You think Jaylen Brown's gonna help this animal? Absolutely not. He was a deadbeat father. He was never there. Jaylen said it. He was raised by his mother. This guy was the dad, and the 7 foot is what gave Jaylen Brown the height, you know what I'm saying, to become a basketball player. But his mom's the one who was there the whole ride to raise him. Probably his grandmother and other family, but the father was nowhere around from what I know of. So I don't think there will be any help coming soon for any monster like this guy. You're an ex-boxer. You're 300 pounds and 7 foot. If you wanted, you could have just punched that guy. You probably would have damn near killed him too. But the fact is, a knife, when the guy is probably half your size, that is some real cowardly pussy ass shit, if that you ask me. But I seen it yesterday, and I was busy, so I didn't talk about it. But I seen it again today, and I said, you know what? Let me talk about this Jaylen Brown dad thing. Jaylen Brown's deadbeat dad. That's what's gonna be in my little, you know what I'm saying, upload. It's not gonna be Jaylen Brown's dad. It's gonna be Jaylen Brown's deadbeat dad. Stabs a man 25 times in Vegas. Man lives. I mean, it's just unfortunate that it would have to come to something of that violent nature for a monster guy who's probably fucking with a guy who's way down here. Even if the guy's 6 foot, that's a whole fucking foot. Why do you need to viciously stab this man? It seems like, the guy got a bad temper and a nature for violence. And, well, you going to prison now, and you're going to probably be the biggest motherfucker there in the pen, so you can fight all you want. There's a bunch of monsters inside the Nevada prison system that will probably want to take down a 7 footer, so they can be the one who so-called got the juice, like Pac, like Bishop and Juice, you know what I'm saying? But it's just sad that a person would do that to another human being, knowing that you got such a height and weight, and you're a ex-boxer, so these shits is deadly anyway. You could have just resolved the problem with words, talked it out, said whatever you felt, and left it at that. Even if the player coach was talking shit, you're the bigger man, physically, literally. Leave it alone. But now, you got a man fighting for his life, his family, friends, and the kids he coached. They're fucking traumatized. And you're going to jail for a long time. But it seems like that might be the best place for you with the shit you doing like that. Opening the door, and the door hits the car next to it, and you get an attempt murder for shit like that. What they call it, a door ding. Absolutely bonkers. Bananas. I'm telling you. I mean, you can't make this motherfucking shit up. While you got a son you ain't never raised who's worth $500 million, you fucking idiot. So, with that being said, man, hit that like, hit that subscribe. It won't cost you a dime. Like I tell you every time around this time, don't turn a door ding into a murder case. Simple problems could be simply avoided. But you got people like this guy who seems like he was looking for anybody to do anything to give him a fucking reason to lose his fucking mind. So with that being said, maybe Jaylen Brown is better off without you than with you. So, I'm Christ17 TV, and I will catch you guys on the flip side.